Holy shit. Alright, I wanted to make this video earlier. Would have given a few days of discussion, but now we only have 5 hours of discussion. And I'm probably going to make an afterthoughts video about the mid-season finale too, so whatever. After today, there's going to be a hiatus until February for content on my channel, and I'll have to fill it with probably videos like this. But this is just kind of like a pre-hype vlog for the mid-season finale, which has, I think, some more hype for me than potentially the Season 7 premiere, where we found out who got Lucille, because I know that this is covering another major events of the comic books, the bombardment, pretty much, of Alexandria, Negan's counterattack against the survivors, now that he's free, as we saw in the last episode. It's going to be a wild episode. And interestingly, the spoiling website that usually spoils things, I don't keep up with it, but people sometimes comment things on YouTube and I'll see it from them. I made a whole rant video about this. I can link it, where I talk about the Spoiling Dead in depth, what they do, how they affect the show. I want to get my Walking Dead shirt in there. But apparently they're not spoiling anything this time, and it's because of some major events that happened in this mid-season finale, and I don't know why they would, because they were so quick to spoil the fact that Glenn and Abraham died in the Season 7 premiere, and now that they're holding back for... I don't know what the reason is. I don't know if it's because they're respecting one of the actresses that's leaving the show, maybe because they die. I don't know what's going to happen. I expect there are some survivors that are going to die, but... there's one pretty big rumor that has been swirling around the internet for weeks, all right? For weeks now, and if you don't want to hear it, I guess just skip 5 minutes of this video, but it's not even confirmed. So it's not confirmed, so don't worry. It's the fact that people are thinking that Carl Chandler Riggs, the actor, his character, is going to be killed off. I don't know how they would do this. I really don't, because his character is fully alive and kicking in the comic books right now. Many issues after the war is all done. Just, living his own life, interacts with new characters that come up. I think he gets wounded in this counterattack by Negan, but I don't think he dies. But everyone's painting it out to be like he dies. Now, maybe it's like a Glenn under the trash can type of situation, where we think that he dies, but he didn't actually die, and then it's some big fucking cliffhanger that we have to wait until February for. I don't know. I really hope that's not the case. But I don't know, because the reason some people seem to think this is because the actor Chandler Riggs is 18, 19, and he graduated high school earlier this year and is going to college, or is already in college, I believe. And I don't know if that is a way of him stepping away from the show, but the problem is they didn't focus it on him enough this half season to justify killing him off. The only things he did, he was in the premiere of Season 8, where he interacts and sees Siddiq, and then in Episode 6, where he has that full conversation with Siddiq, and then he brings him back into the fold, supposedly. But that's really all we've had. Like, he fights off some walkers and almost gets bit. I don't know how he didn't, but I guess some plot armor for the time being. But it's funny because Rick Grimes has actually been in every single episode this half season. I didn't even realize that. He has been in every single episodes 1 through 8 of this half. And even episodes like 4 and 5, where 4 was more focused on King Ezekiel, 5 was more focused on Negan's backstory, Rick and Daryl still had scenes in those episodes. They were short, they were chase scenes, they were fight scenes, but they were still in the episodes. And then Rick has that brief conversation with Jadis in Episode 6. He fights off the Walker and gets Jadis on his side in Episode 7. So he's been in every... as he should be. He's our main character, it seems like. Duh, obviously. We started this show with him. Obviously, we're going to keep going with him. And I imagine the show will end when he dies. That's just, I think, how it should go, how it should be. There's no other character that you could really make the main guy and see the show through his lens. Rick's the one leading this war. In this image... where my hand is, the all-out war promo, it's Rick big on one side and Negan big on the other. So he's the lead survivor, and there's no one else who could take that role. I mean, maybe Daryl, but Daryl is part of the reason why the freaking Saviors got free, because he couldn't stick to the plan. He had to drive that trash truck through the fucking sanctuary gates, and now I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. So we'll see. But so yeah, I don't know. I'm torn because people were saying, predicting the whole Morales thing as well. But that did get spoiled. People did put out spoilers about that and say, yes, Morales is coming back. Which wasn't even... It was a big spoiler that he came back, but that was it, because he only lasted an episode. And then, he gets shot with a crossbow in the eye. And he has one conversation with Rick where we find out what he was doing, and all it does is really just contrast to Rick and give Rick more thought about how he should be handling the Saviors. Morales popped up for no reason, literally. So I still think that was kind of bizarre. It was cool to give the character, some justice and send him off. Now we don't have to wonder what happened to him or his family. So I guess there's that. But in terms of this mid-season finale, I mean, again, an hour and a half. We have a lot of content. In the previews that we were given, we see that Enid and Aaron are actually going to Oceanside, which I didn't realize, because they were in the last episode. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go somewhere," and we didn't know where they're going. There's a whole bunch of potential there, because now that the kingdom lost most of its soldiers, they need fighters, so that'll be very helpful to see if they can get those women on their side. They took all their guns, so they're going to need to go scavenge some more to give them. That's even if they want to go. I mean, I know Cindy does, but her grandmother doesn't seem like she's going to budge. And I really don't think, a little girl, Enid, and fucking Aaron, who are both kind of mentally distraught over how the war has progressed so far, more so Aaron and losing Eric. I don't know what their success rate is. I think it would be stupid for them to drive all the way out there and not succeed. I think something will happen. Either they'll be captured potentially and they'll have to talk their way out of it to get them to fight. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. And then Jadis's loyalty. I hope she stays loyal. It would be kind of dumb for her to betray Rick twice. But the thing is, the deal is kind of messed up now, because now that the Saviors are out, Rick is kind of asking Jadis and her people to head into a fight that they might not be equipped to fight. I mean, they have a lot of guns and numbers, but now that the Saviors are out, they have to fight. And we saw that in the preview where Jadis and Rick and the group are walking, and then probably the Saviors attack them. So, what will Jadis say? Oh, I'm always out for myself, so if this isn't going well for me and Rick, then I can just change back again. So I hope that's not the case. I think the thing is, I think Rick really proved himself, almost killing Jadis by shoving her head into that walker. I think he scared the living shit out of her, and I think she has to have more respect for him at this point. And I think that respect will go a long way, and I hope that respect kind of solidifies her staying with Rick. Because, they're uncivilized people. That whole Junkyard group, they're all uncivilized people that have kind of lost their humanity in a way. And I think that Rick always being this force of humanity and of the future is kind of intriguing for Jadis, as the actress has said in interviews. So it would almost be cool to see Jadis's character kind of come back to what, I know they have their line, "We take, we don't bother." And Rick tries to say that when they're in Alexandria. She's like, "Oh, this is what you fight for," and he's like, "Yeah, you're a part of that now." But then Jadis is like, "No, we take, we don't bother." So I don't know, maybe her being more around Rick, we already know she likes him. Fucking wanted to sculpt paintings of him and shit. But maybe being around him more will change her mindset. Who knows? I don't know. She's a series regular, as is Simon. That was the upgrade that those characters got for season 8. So hope she doesn't die. I know some people don't like them, but I think they're an intriguing element. Just like Negan's the comedic, psychotic leader that's happy and jolly. I think that Jadis, every group adds something different. You have King Ezekiel, who's the theater performer, but not so much anymore. But you have characters that have different quirks and different angles, and that for me keeps the show interesting, because you never know what you're going to get, and the dynamics always bring out something different in the characters. So, without rambling too much, geez, what do I think is going to happen? Well, they're going to probably abandon Alexandria for a time. They'll probably run to the hilltop or the kingdom. I don't know how much of Alexandria is going to get destroyed. That's one thing I don't know. I don't know if they'll destroy the town completely, or if it, just a few buildings will get burned and then they'll be able to rebuild it later. We obviously see in the flash forward sequence when Rick has the cane and the beard, they're in Alexandria with, older Judith and potentially Carl, that he's in that sequence. Again, which is another reason why it's hard for me to say that he dies. He's in that flash forward sequence. Unless that sequence is complete bullshit in Rick's mind. I don't think so. It's obviously an allusion to how Rick is after the war. Somebody breaks his leg and he has to walk around in a cane. He has a big bushy beard. It fits the description of his future character in the comics totally. So, it would be weird to say, oh, Carl's there, and then Carl's not. It's so frustrating. I'm filming this at 4 p.m. on Eastern Standard, and just waiting for this finale is driving me nuts. But I'm gonna upload this quick. Hopefully, you guys will check it out as you maybe this is like your hype video, your pre-hype video. I'm just trying to throw out ideas here and trying to break down where I think all these characters are going to be at. They just released a new trailer a few minutes ago. Where King Ezekiel's in it, Negan's in it, laughing as they shoot grenades over the wall. So, some of what I predict is going to happen. They will attack. I just don't know, it's like the outcome of it. What happens from it? Where do we end off? Where do we leave on a cliffhanger? Do we leave on a cliffhanger? Is it going to be like the season 6 mid-season finale where they're walking out of the house and it just ends? And that pissed me off. I think the only redeeming thing is that was when they first name-dropped Negan, and then we kind of had that preview of what was to come, which was really cool. The season 7 one left more on a hopeful note. It was kind of like, yeah, Rick's ready to fight. It was like a good point. It's like, Rick's ready to fight. This is it. Time to rise up is now. But I don't know where this one's going to be. This might end on a depressing note, depending on what happens, depending on what other, AMC's building it up on the commercials, the moment everyone's going to be talking about. It's like, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. Killing one of your A-listers is the only way. Like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want Carol to go. Obviously, Carl would be just completely bonkers. I'm not a big fan of Chandler Riggs' acting, but at the same time, it would just be crazy for the show to have him just, again, die. They haven't spent enough time with him this half season. I don't know how they justify it, so. Okay. We're going to upload this, and, we'll go from there. We'll go from there, guys. So. The next video you see will be the reaction. For anyone looking for the episode 6 reaction, by the way, it got copyright striked and taken down, and so I'm fighting it right now. And so if it goes back up, it'll be 2 weeks. But I also sent an email out to the people attacking it saying, I'll comply with, whatever you want for this. Again, that's what I have to deal with behind the scenes. But meanwhile, everyone's complaining about the video being small in the upper right-hand corner, the volume being low. Again, these are all sacrifices I have to make so I can get the video in the format that you're able to watch it every single week. So, just want to reiterate that because episode 6 is no longer on YouTube right now for the time being, unless it gets put back up. And the dispute goes away, but again, it puts my channel at risk because I have a copyright strike on it right now. And again, I've had many copyright strikes, but I always refute them as soon as they come up, and just it's as long as I fight for fair use and the review purposes and what I do after the videos and all the promotions I give the show. Like again, I have a fucking shirt on for the show right here. Obviously, look at the side of my video. I have all these things on the side of my video promoting the show. Like, come on, like. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later. See you for the mid-season finale. Oh my god. Someone's gonna die.